Fox News confirming at least one aircraft carrier is en route to the Middle East, with other military assets from air, land, and sea expected to begin flowing into the region.
The USS Abraham Lincoln Aircraft Carrier Strike Group is moving closer to Iran this morning.
Iran has fired 2 missiles towards the joint British-American base on Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean.
1:53 local time. Strait of Hormuz. The water is black glass. A U.S. Navy destroyer cuts through the swell at 15 knots, her wake a phosphorescent scar across the Persian Gulf. On the bridge of the USS Carney, the watch officer sips lukewarm coffee. The radar scope sweeps. Quiet. Routine. The kind of quiet that veterans learn to distrust. In 4 minutes, this stretch of water transforms into the most contested kilometer of ocean on planet Earth. 140 incoming. Ballistic. Cruise. Drone. What unfolds in the next 46 minutes will redraw the strategic map of the Middle East and rewrite naval doctrine for the next 20 years. Stay with me. Let's set the stage. The Persian Gulf in this scenario is a pressure cooker that has been hissing for months. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has been stockpiling Shahed, 136 loitering munitions, fielding upgraded K-bar-Shekin medium-range ballistic missiles, and parading new Pave land attack cruise missiles through Tehran. Across the water, the United States has answered with steel. The USS Dwight D. Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group sits 200 nautical miles southeast in the Gulf of Oman. Bahrain hosts NAVCENT and 5th Fleet Headquarters at Naval Support Activity Bahrain. Udeid Air Base in Qatar bristles with KC-135 tankers, B-1B Lancers on rotational deployment, and an MQ-9 Reaper detachment running 24-hour orbits. Dhafra in the UAE shelters F-35 Lightning IIs from the 388th Fighter Wing. Imagine you're standing on the flight deck of the Eisenhower right now. Salt spray on your face. The howl of an E-2D Hawkeye spinning up, 5,000 sailors below you, each with families waiting. This is not a drill. This is the night Iran decided to gamble everything. Now flip the perspective. Inside a hardened command bunker outside Bandar Abbas, an Iranian general stares at a wall of monitors. His plan has a name only 12 men know. The calculation is simple in his mind. Saturate American defenses. Overwhelm the layers. Hit Udeid. Hit Dhafra. Hit the Eisenhower herself. 140 weapons launched in a coordinated 40-second window from 12 dispersed sites across Iran. 40 K-bar-Shekin ballistic missiles, terminal-guided, maneuvering on re-entry. 60 Pave and Sumar cruise missiles, hugging the deck at 50 meters above the waves. 40 Shahed, 136 drones, slow but cheap, designed to bleed interceptor magazines dry. He believes the math works. He believes the Americans will run out of missiles before Iran runs out of missiles. He believes that even a 10% leakage rate means a burning carrier and 1,000 dead sailors. He believes this is the night the Persian Gulf becomes a Persian lake. But here's what they got wrong. The Iranian general had factored in Patriot batteries, THAAD interceptors, and the destroyer screen. He had not factored in cooperative engagement capability. He had not factored in the fact that every Aegis-equipped warship, every E-2D Hawkeye, every F-35, and every ground-based Patriot in the theater shares a single fused tactical picture in real time. He had not factored in a constellation of space-based infrared system satellites already tracking the heat plumes of his missiles before they cleared their launch rails. The flaw in his thinking was assuming the Americans would fight as separate units. They would fight as one organism. 0351 hours. Detection. A space-based infrared system satellite in geosynchronous orbit, 36,000 kilometers above the Indian Ocean, catches the first launch signature. Within 9 seconds, the data is on a console at Buckley Space Force Base in Colorado. Within 12 seconds, it's on the bridge of the USS Thomas Hudner. Within 15 seconds, it's on every Aegis combat system in the 5th Fleet. By the time the second wave of launches lights up Iranian soil, the count is already 47 and climbing. An E-2D Hawkeye orbiting at 25,000 feet feeds APY-9 radar tracks into the network. SPY-6 radars on the destroyers go from search to track to engage in less than 4 seconds. You're in CIC right now. The compartment is red-lit. The tactical action officer's voice is calm but clipped. Vampire, vampire, vampire. Multiple inbound. Birds free. Engage. Could you make that call? 40 seconds from detection to launch authorization. Less time than it takes to read this paragraph. The defensive battle unfolds in layers, and each layer has a job. Layer 1. Exo-atmospheric. The Khyber-Shakhan ballistic missiles arc into space, peaking at 180 kilometers altitude. 2 THAAD batteries at Al Dhafra and a third at a forward site in the UAE light up the night with hit-to-kill interceptors. Each THAAD round is a kinetic kill vehicle traveling at 8 kilometers per second. There is no warhead. There doesn't need to be. The interceptor simply hits the incoming missile so hard it ceases to be a missile. From the ground, the kills look like new stars being born and dying in the same instant. 12 down, then 16, then 22. The mid-course phase is a graveyard. Layer 2, upper endo-atmospheric. SM-3 Block IIA interceptors leap from the vertical launch cells of the USS Carney and the USS Thomas Hudner. Each missile is a $4 million miracle of engineering, and tonight the Navy spends them like they are pennies, because they are. Compared to a burning carrier, they are pennies. 8 Khyber-Shakhan that slipped past THAAD meet 8 SM-3S in the dark void above the Gulf. 8 more stars, 8 more enemies that will never come home. Layer 3, lower atmosphere. The cruise missiles are the trickiest customers. Pave missiles fly low, slow, and stupid. But there are 60 of them, and they take winding routes that exploit terrain masking. Patriot Pack 3 batteries at Al Udeid and Al Dhafra engage the inland tracks. Out at sea, SM-2 and SM-6 missiles streak from the destroyers, each guided by the cooperative network. An SM-6 fired by the Eisenhower's escort destroyer kills a cruise missile that the destroyer's own radar cannot see, because the targeting data came from an F-35 flying 200 miles closer to the threat. That is what cooperative engagement means. That is what the Iranian general did not understand. Layer 4, F-35. Lightning IIs out of Al Dhafra are airborne in 11 minutes. They hunt cruise missiles and Shahed drones with AIM-120D AMRAAMs and AIM-9X Sidewinders. The F-35 is not a dogfighter tonight. It is a flying sensor platform with teeth. Its EOTS targeting pod sees through the desert haze. Its AN-APG-81 radar paints targets the cruise missiles cannot detect. Pilot call sign Razor 1 splashes 4 Shaheds in 90 seconds. Pilot call sign Reaper 2 takes out a Pave with a Sidewinder shot at 3 miles. The drones never knew they were hunted. Layer 5, the last ditch. Phalanx CIWS on the destroyers. 20mm Gatling guns spitting 4,500 rounds per minute of tungsten. RAM. Block 2, rolling airframe missiles. CRAM. The systems that exist for the leakers, the ones that got through everything else. 3 cruise missiles reach the inner ring of the strike group. 3 cruise missiles meet a wall of tungsten and fire. None of them get a chance to detonate. Running tally at minute 28. 127 inbound destroyed, 13 still in flight. 8 of those are Shahed drones now being chased down by F-35S and the Eisenhower's Combat Air Patrol of F/A-18E Super Hornets. 5 are cruise missiles being engaged by Patriot and ship-based defenses. The carrier has not been touched. Al Udeid has not been touched. Al Dhafra took 1 minor hit on a vacant taxiway. The math the Iranian general trusted has betrayed him. Now comes the answer. 0418 hours. The president is in the situation room. The Secretary of Defense is on the secure line. The CENTCOM commander has already pre-cleared the response packages under standing rules of engagement. Authorization granted. The counterattack is not retaliation. It is a calculated demonstration. It is a chess match where every piece moves at once. From the Eisenhower, 24F, A-18E Super Hornets launch in waves, each carrying JSOW-ER and SLAM-ER standoff missiles. From Al Udeid, 4 B-1B Lancers lift off carrying 24 AGM-158C LRASMs and 96 JSSM-ER cruise missiles in their internal bays. The B-1 is the most underrated heavy striker in the inventory, and tonight it earns its paycheck. From an undisclosed position in the Arabian Sea, the Ohio-class guided missile submarine USS Florida fires 154 Tomahawk Block V cruise missiles in a coordinated salvo. Picture that. 154 Tomahawks rising from the sea like a swarm of black hornets, each one programmed with a unique target package. From Al Dhafra, 16 F-35 as cross into Iranian airspace stealthily, suppressing air defenses with AGM-88G AARGM-ER missiles. From Diego Garcia, 2 B-2 Spirits that took off 6 hours ago at the first hint of crisis arrive overhead with 16 GBU, 5.7 massive ordnance penetrators each. They are not for tonight's targets. They are insurance. For every missile Iran launched, the United States answers with 2.5. The arithmetic is no longer the general's friend. The targets are surgical and systematic, not cities, not civilians. The 12 missile launch sites that fired tonight, gone in the first 8 minutes of the counterstrike. The Bandar Abbas command bunker, struck by 2 Tomahawks and a JASSM-ER. The general who planned this operation does not survive his own plan. 3 IRGC missile production facilities at Parchin, Kojir, and Shahed, demolished by stealth-delivered penetrator weapons. 2 Shahed assembly lines erased. 6 radar and air defense sites that tracked the inbound American response, destroyed before they could complete their engagement cycles. Naval bases at Bandar Abbas and Bandar Aegis, port facilities cratered, missile-armed fast attack boats sunk at their moorings. The strategic capability that took Iran 15 years and tens of billions of dollars to build is dismantled in less time than a feature film. This is not a battle. This is not a test. This is an execution. 0433 hours. 46 minutes after the first Iranian launch detection, the skies over the Gulf are silent again. The Eisenhower turns into the wind to recover her aircraft. F-35s drop into the pattern at Al Dhafra. The B-1s turn for home with empty bomb bays. The aftermath is brutal in its arithmetic. Iran launched 140 weapons. 3 reached anywhere near a target. 0 achieved meaningful damage. 0 American or coalition deaths. The United States and partners launched 472 precision weapons in response. Strategic impact, total. Iran's offensive missile capability, set back by an estimated 5 to 7 years. 12 launch sites, destroyed. 3 production facilities, destroyed. 6 air defense nodes, destroyed. 1 command bunker, destroyed. The single most expensive 46 minutes in the Islamic Republic's military history. Less time than the average evening commute. Less time than a sitcom episode with commercials. And in those 46 minutes, a regional power discovered the difference between fielding an arsenal and fielding a system. Here is the lesson, and it is the lesson the next decade of warfare will be written around. Mass without coordination is just expensive scrap metal. The Iranian general had the missiles, he had the launchers, he had the plan. What he did not have was a fused, networked, multi-domain kill chain that could see, decide, and shoot faster than the enemy could fly. The U.S. Navy and its joint partners did not win this fight because they had more missiles. They won it because every sensor talked to every shooter, because a satellite over the Indian Ocean could cue an SM-6 launched from a destroyer guided by data from an F-35 flying over the desert. They won it because the system thought faster than any human could. The future of warfare is not about who has the biggest stockpile. It is about who has the fastest, smartest, most integrated network. Tonight, that was the United States Navy. Tomorrow, the contest continues. So here is the question I want you to sit with. If a saturation attack of 140 advanced weapons cannot crack a fully integrated American defensive network, what does deterrence even look like in the age of cooperative engagement? And what happens when an adversary finally fields a comparable network of their own? Drop your analysis below. I read every comment. Tell me which moment of this scenario you found most revealing. The detection? The layered defense? The counterstrike calculus? Debate it out in the comments. And if you want more deep-dive military scenarios like this one, breaking down how modern warfare actually unfolds at the speed of light and the speed of decision, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. The next scenario drops soon. You will not want to miss what happens when the chessboard moves to the Pacific. Until then, stay sharp, stay curious, and remember, in modern war, the side that sees first, decides first, and shoots first, wins every time.